What if you scribbled an idea on a napkin and it became a limitless scale tech company poised for exit? What if you had a vision of eliminating an inefficiency in your community, industry, or the world, and you had a chance to co-found a company and bring this product or service to the market? What if we could positively impact every social issue with tech? 10x Tech Tank is the #1 daily show for everything tech entrepreneurship. And whether you are technical or not, you will learn, be inspired, and witness transformation in the making. People will share tech ideas on napkins. People will showcase minimum viable tech products. People will explain their cash-flowing tech companies looking for acceleration. And if the person is right, and their idea is right, and the market is right, and the business model is right, then there's a great chance you will witness some serious magic. We are on a mission to build, scale, and sell 10,000 tech companies in 10 years. And we invite you to make history with us. Together, we achieve more.
And we're back, 10x Tech Tank, Jared Yellin here, co-founder of 10x Incubator, and we got
Eric Nowoslawki. I'm the VP of Growth for the 10x Incubator.
Listen up, we are so honored to have you this evening. We absolutely love showing up daily with entrepreneurs from around the world who have tech ideas that maybe they wrote on a piece of paper just like this. Or maybe they've invested a little bit of time and money and effort and love and emotion into their minimum viable product. And maybe, just maybe, they're a cash-flowing tech company, but they've plateaued and they want to accelerate. Listen, the tank is for entrepreneurs that are looking to take their idea, take their napkin, and go for an exit. What we stand to do at 10x Incubator is build, scale, and sell 10,000 tech companies in 10 years. Big E, what do you think about 10,000 tech companies in 10 years?
So a lot of people ask us about this, and then I challenge them and I say, don't you think 10,000 tech companies are going to be started in the next 10 years anyway, at least? And then they say, well, you know, probably 10,000 a year. And it's like, oh, well, okay, so why can't we take a piece of that, right? And so why would you start a tech company without an ecosystem? Yeah. Why would you start a tech company on an island by yourself? Why would you not start a tech company within an ecosystem where there's an ecosystem for your financial documents, there's an ecosystem for your product development, there's an ecosystem for your mental health, there's an ecosystem to suffocate your doubt, there's an ecosystem to go to market. Why wouldn't you step into that ecosystem?
Yeah, listen, I am a non-technical tech founder, and the first tech company that I built and scaled, I did it by myself. I did it on an island. I actually went out and hired a software development firm, and they told me it would take 10 months and $750,000 to build the first version of the software. I funded it myself, and guess what happened? It was 2 years and $2 million later.
Crazy.
We had to scrap the platform at that point because that's how much it missed the mark. And the most difficult part was not the finances. I was doing it alone. Like, I had nowhere to go. I was in a new relationship with now my wife, but she was a girlfriend at the time, so I couldn't talk about writing a 6-figure check every month to her. My family would have thought I was nuts. I was 26 years old writing checks that no one should write, let alone a 26-year-old. My small little team, they were like, what are you doing? Like, we had a successful marketing agency. Like, why are you putting all the resources into this tech thing? But I just saw it. I saw the impact it could create. And ultimately, when I look back, the thing that would have made the pain significantly less severe is if I had an ecosystem. And that's what 10x Incubator is. It's the most powerful ecosystem of tech founders. We call them sexy tech founders on the planet. And the reason the 10x Tech Tank is so exciting is because we want to say yes. We want to say yes for the people that are showing up with their ideas. So with that, let's get the show started.
Absolutely.
We have Marcin. Marcin, did I say your name correctly, Marcin?
I'm going to bet Marcin.
It's Marcin. You're on mute. Again, there we go. We can't hear.
It's working fine, I think.
So how do you pronounce your name?
How do you pronounce your name?
Marcin. Yeah, Marcin is like a soft E, then it should be this
Okay,
way.
there you go. All right,
See,
you got that one.
See, I know my soft ends, I think you said, right? All right, where are you calling from?
Yeah.
Where are you calling from this evening?
Sorry, say again.
Where are you calling from?
From UK?
Oh, excellent.
Cool, awesome. Well, you got 5 minutes. Please share your big tech idea.
Should I share the screen?
Please do.
Yeah.
Yes, we would like that. Eric gets really excited when people share their screens.
I love decks.
Okay,
Yeah.
just give me a sec.
Really?
Pitch decks, yeah.
Okay.
I love it.
Cool. That could have been inappropriate.
Hey, it got close.
Yeah,
There was
it
one foul.
did get close. Yeah. All right. Let's keep it real for Marcin here. All right.
just give me a sec.
You're doing great, man.
So is it called X-Bank?
No, it's
Yeah, we can see your screen. You're
Now we
good.
can see your screen.
Go for it.
Just hit the
yeah,
present
but the
button at top.
presentation doesn't start properly.
Perfect.
Here you are.
Go for it. You're good. You're good, Marcin.
Okay. Yeah, then the concept of the idea is to create like a bank, X bank. Then my name is Marcin, then that's why I'm creating that idea. And let me ask you the question regarding the finance and how it looks right now in the sector. Who is responsible for the learning and education right now? Because lots of institutions, school, unfortunately don't learn us about how to invest, how to manage the money, and the rest of the process, how to even simply living from paycheck to paycheck. That's why I found anyway Grant Cardone and his university, which learn much more, I think, than the rest of the proper institution which are responsible for that. And right now, anyway, the banks is changing really quickly. It's going like decentralization, and money is going more like digital, definitely. And that's why it's idea about creating bank which learn us invest in money and the proper manage the money, how we can be wealth in that current world. The strategy of consultation and just like build a great application behind and like experience which giving customers really smooth transaction and the rest of investing. And of course, giving like a sweet spot between that 3 points will be that X-Bank. That is a current financial market, how it looks in the real world. And is, as you can see, the central digital bank currency right now is in the sweet spot in the peer-to-peer central bank issue, which are right now the most bank which hold the value. Here as well is a few different things which will be probably you understand how it looks. Competition for the company is really big right now on the market as well. There is a lot of small banks and a little bit bigger, but as even Bill Gates said that competition is something which keep us in the toe, then it's really good. The new model of banking is just like creating banking site and application which just help a third party create the experience for the customers. And then it looks like on the graph. On the product roadmap is right now is in the state of the concept, and already spoke with a few companies which just like provide the back-end software to application, then creating application and just like create a marketing around the company. It will be another step. Then go on the market strategies, utilize the power of social media, which is main marketing purpose for right now every company, I'm guessing, and it's absolutely free. Then it's a few different strategy for the creating marketing. Obtain the XCOM, which right now is, if I got aware, then Elon Musk keep that domain. It could be like intellectual property, really good for the company. Capitalization of the company, the Wealthfront, which is an investor company, which I will probably be aware, is 1 billion. It's quite not right now. And for others, like value per customer for Revolut, which is one of the biggest right now player in the market, is per customer, as you can see, is £2,065. Then it's really good.
We'll do 1 more minute, Marcin. 1 more minute.
Oh yeah. Oh, sorry, I lost the. Yeah, exactly. And sorry. And currently, the lost market capitalization for global banking sector is around 7.4 trillion. Currently, in only US is just like banking estimate about 43 billions in the 2021. And the shares creating the application is around up to 20 millions. Then it depends on the argue with the you will be interested in.
All right, let's jump in for some questions. So, Eric, what do you got? Marcin, we'll jump into some questions.
We're going to jump into some questions. I appreciate putting the don't be a little bitch at the end of that. I did appreciate that. So. That's a lot of information. I love when people use visuals in their pitch decks, and you got all of the visuals in there, and you put it all into one deck. Now, so you started off with the headline saying that this would be a bank that would teach people how to invest. Exactly. What is the one main way that your bank is going to be different than every other bank?
I think that the banks don't teach people how to invest. They just like trying to convince them that just they need invest and offer some products which just giving some, of course, benefits and the profits, but people still don't know how to invest. Well, it's just like giving the money to the banks, and banks just keeping the money.
So, Marcin, quite possibly, but I've got some friends at JP Morgan that would try to disagree with you. So how is your education going to be so much better than their education?
I mean that, for example, Grant like doing a lot of things which just is a little bit better than education of banks. Even like with the Grant Cardone University have got much more information which you can learn than like banks don't. Yeah. Banks just giving the products.
Well,
and don't teach you how to invest.
Agreed. So besides taking Cardone University and combining that education into a bank, what other unfair advantage does your idea propose to bring into a banking system?
It will be definitely like a mix with the digitalization, which right now, of course, is more the companies is giving opportunity to invest in the cryptocurrency or NFT as well. Then it will be like combined a little bit like old banking system, which giving opportunity still invest in the mutual fund. Yeah. But as well, like learn a little bit future investment in the cryptocurrency or NFT or any other asset.
How
for example, like property market will be go as well in a different way than probably NFT, housing, or any other assets will be available as well.
If you want to be a bank, you're going to have to play into a huge regulatory environment. Have you looked at what the compliance looks like to be able to put all of this into a one-stop shop?
Obviously, I was checking. I'm not sure. Probably, I'm guessing that there is a little bit different regulation in the US than compared to UK. But I was checking how it looks in the UK. Then I found the company which just like we've got meeting this week, and Festival spoke. They provide more like backend system which is already regulated because they got the right now even the Chase which get into the UK property financial sector as well. They cooperating with them. Then they provide like a backend for all regulation as well. Then I will be more info can back to you with more information soon.
So where are you in the process right now? Is this more of a concept of this phase, or have you started to build out some of the infrastructure for this platform?
It's a concept, but it's still in the backstage. Is in the process of create application and collaboration with the other company, like a third parts company, which will be involved in all project.
Got it. And why are you the right person to do this? Because this is a big task, which is we love big, we love audacious, we love moonshots. Why is Marcin the right person to bring this idea to life?
Obviously it was like many years ago when I start seeing the where the whole world is going to the online. Pandemic just speed up the process of moving online for everything, like working remotely. And the first concept was just like creating only, because I was working in the mortgage and protection industry, then just create like a company which take the online service for mortgages. But right now I just go a little bit more big as you like, then just like why not creating bank and just like use an third parties company to just like create something bigger.
Awesome. I love the audacity. So, Piggy, what are we thinking? Are we thinking we moving forward with launching a bank with Marcin here? And for those in the chat, if you enjoyed what Marcin shared, if you see value in this, we ask you to get loud. We always want to be influenced. So, as we're deciding, make sure you're chatting. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so Marcin, I'm going to challenge you to try to simplify the idea. You have a lot of things going on and a lot of great things, right? I think financial technology is a new budding industry. I mean, when I say new, it's relatively new, but in the context of time, it's pretty new. And so it's a new industry. There's a lot going on in your deck. And I just challenge you to simplify it a little bit more, because right now it's huge. This would take a huge build. This is kind of what we call a maximum viable product. We want to try to get to a minimum viable product. What would you start with in 3 to 4 months from now? That would be the minimum that you would need to be able to not only disrupt the banking industry, but gain customer adoption, because there's no disruption in an industry without customer adoption.
Yeah, that's absolutely key. Marcin, thank you so much. I also agree with Eric. I'm not ready to move forward yet with due diligence. We need this idea to come from where it is, which is wonderful, to a place where we could see a direct roadmap to 90 to 120 days of development to bring the product live. I'm not seeing that yet, but maybe in the chat you are. Maybe you're seeing something that we're not seeing. We want to be influenced. So we've built some big products though, right? Claim Guru is one of our products.
Yeah.
And this was a big one. I mean, Josh Osteen is someone that's in the public adjusting industry, a leader in the industry, has built a very successful public adjusting business. And I didn't even know what that was when I first met Josh, because I never worked with anyone that was in the space. And he shared with me how in his industry, there was only one other tech player. Excuse me, and this one other tech player has been around for 20 years, and what they were offering public adjusters was just antiquated. Take a look at this commercial, we'll talk more about it in a moment.
The insurance adjuster industry has not received much love in the space of innovation, ever. Professionals in this industry are faced with extremely arduous processes that make scaling difficult and quality of life poor. Claim Guru assists public adjusting businesses by providing powerful tools for managing every step of the claim process, from origination to settlement and beyond. In addition, Claim Guru will help professionals stay on top of their adjusting caseload, proactively guiding them through the process, which makes the customer experience significantly enhanced. Our client-centric approach helps to increase your company's capacity, providing you with the tools you need to grow and succeed. From lead management, contract execution, scheduling, claims filing, claims management, loss scoping, loss documentation, document creation and distribution, file transferring, claim activity documentation, task reminders and organization, form filling and filing, payment intake and distribution. The process is currently way too complex and time-consuming to allow for maximum profits. Until now, we invite you to take your public adjusting business to the next level by hiring a guru, the one and only Claim Guru.
So what do you think? I mean, if you're in the public adjusting industry, this has to light your fire. I mean, we love industry technology, because when industry technology is done right, you start to build momentum just by getting adoption from users. They start telling each other, there's this new and exciting platform, and this new and exciting platform is saving me time, making me money. It's giving me back my freedom, and as a result of just having that endorsement from people of that kind, you start to build velocity. And ClaimGuru is just that, simplifying the entire process for public adjusters. So if you are one, head over to claimguru.com right now and check it out. And if you're not one, think of one that you know, because this will radically change their business and their life. All right. Who's up next to share their big tech idea with us? We have Stephen Schwartz. Stephen, appreciate you. Stephen, where are you calling in from?
Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale, awesome.
Nice.
Right around the corner here. So please share your big tech idea with us. Take it away.
Yeah, sure. Approximately a little over 4 years ago, thereabouts, I came up with a idea of what electronic signature was missing. So I presented a patent, a thought that I had with my patent attorneys, and I ended up receiving a utility patent for facial, retina, fingerprint, voice recognition, specifically for, and very specific, for electronic signature, and it audio tapes and videotapes the entire signing process. It's DocuSign on steroids. DocuSign any given day is worth between $50 to $60 billion. Yesterday it was worth $55 billion. This kicks their ass. What's great about this specific software is what I developed of the utility patents that I have. What I developed was the facial recognition for the electronic signature. It then requests you to upload your government ID, so it gives you an extra layer. And then it unlocks to allow the particular user to sign all the documents. During that period of time, for example, let's go to your area of expertise. Let's go to the 10X. Let's say there's 2 million real estate developers, 2 million real estate investors in the United States. And I myself am a real estate broker for 40 years. I get people sending me contracts all day long. Problem with that is, if I end up signing it and I have buyer's remorse, my kids signed it, my grandchildren signed it. I definitely didn't sign it. What's great about my software is that not only do you have it on video that you signed it, but also the fact that you can dictate to the receiver, to the recipient who is going to sign, the one that's looking to buy the property. Let's just take buy the property. It could be sell, it could be buy. And that particular individual, you tell them, okay, you're going to buy the property. I need you, as you're signing, to please state, I am buying 123 DocuSign Lane for $475,000, and today is October 27th. That in itself, you cannot bring into a court of law and say, I didn't sign it. You are totally locked in. There's nothing on the market. I don't care where you go, anywhere in the world, nobody has what I put together. There was a company or two that was out in Germany that they would connect you with IT developers so they could take whatever software they had and mush them with others, but it wasn't clean. This is very, very clean. And the key to this is that there's a utility patent, and I have 17 years left on this utility patent. This thing's a grand slam. I've been offered a lot of money. I took nothing. It's cost me $20,000 to $26,000 a month for almost 4 years. It was cost me a little bit less, but then in the last year and a half, 2 years, I fired 2 companies. I don't have patience for companies that are not perfect at what they do. So I finally found a company. They're wrapping it up. Probably, well, right now it's in testing. So I'm anticipating within the next month, I should be able to send it out to various people, a few hundred people, and start testing. I can show you right online how it works if you'd like to see it.
Awesome. So you put in about $1 million over the past 4 years, but you've owned
Maybe.
the patent. What'd you say?
A little bit less, but
Yeah,
probably,
cool.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So are there any users right now using this platform?
No, there are no users using the platform. It's directly been in development mode.
Awesome. So just out of curiosity, is it taken 4 years because you hire people, not the right people, and fire them? So it's kind of been like start, stop, start, stop. Has that been your journey?
Yes and no. And the reason I say yes and no is initially I went in thinking along the lines of a different path, not the facial recognition for the electronic signature. I originally went in with the thought first of marketing, advertising for the dental industry. Then I realized that it really wasn't the way to go. I had hired a company. The company itself just didn't do a great job. And so as time went on, and I was looking to expand the value of the software, what I was looking to do was find the little niche that no one picked up. And what subsequently happened is when I contacted this particular patent lawyer, I mean, the chances of getting this type of patent were slim to none. But the fact remained that none of the big boys ever submitted a request for it. So it was the easiest patent my patent lawyers had ever gotten, which just sounds nuts. Got it within 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really crazy. Subsequently, I had this team proceed to develop that part of it, the electronic signature, the whole thing. But they just weren't sharp enough. I spent $250,000 with them. The name of the company is Chetu. You might know them. Mm-hmm. A friend of mine was coincidental, just a coincidence. I was talking to him. He says, I fired them 2 years ago. I spent $250,000. So then I found a third company that's been doing a great job, and it'll be ready very, very soon.
Cool. Congratulations. That's awesome. So what's the financial model? Is it a SaaS platform, so subscription as a service?
Yes.
What do you envision? What is the price point?
The price point that I was looking to market at would be somewhere in the area of about $11 a month.
Cool.
Now, because I have no name, besides that, the software is encrypted. I offer very, very large file transfer. So you could send 50 files through my software. You can encrypt it. I'm setting it up also where you can send DICOM, you can send X-rays and MRIs through the software too, to get that market. Inexpensive market, $69 a month, $100 a month. There's millions of doctors out there.
Yeah.
There are so many. Take the title insurance companies I deal with. I have title insurance companies that have actually called me in the last few months because they know me and they know what I do, and they've said, is your software ready?
That's awesome. So question, what are your needs now? So it sounds like you're about to launch, which is awesome. So do you need dev? Do you need more team? Do you need money to innovate faster? Do you need promotional power? What are your needs right now, Steve?
A little bit of everything. I mean, I don't necessarily need the money, but the difference is I don't have a couple $100 million to do 10x advertising. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The name of the company was easyboss.com. It's a great name, easyboss.com. But then I realized the fact that no one's going to know what it is because I don't have that huge money to advertise it. So I figured the best source, the best direction to go is called faceesign.com. That's what we do. If you want to see the presentation, I could do it in under 30 seconds.
Go for it. Do for it.
Okay, cool. All right, so what I need to do is figure out how to get you
so
on.
What do you think about taking down DocuSign?
I mean, I have a lot of questions around. So DocuSign is obviously a successful company, $54 billion yesterday. Then there's PandaDoc. They were just valued at $1 billion. Shout out to my guys over at PandaDoc, Jeb and Steve. So obviously people are signing documents electronically, and it's good enough right now. So my question is, I see the value that now you exactly know with the video and the audio, you know that this person definitely signed it. It's almost like having a notary around and signing it, which is extremely interesting. But how many people are saying to themselves today, this signing electronically isn't good enough right now. I need more security. Because there's $54 billion worth of market value.
But they might be saying it though, right? Like what Steven was saying, like with the realtor who sends out documents and then the person signs it and then there's like, oh, I didn't sign it. My kid signed it. I don't really want this. And they just went through that whole process. So
agreed. That's absolutely true.
Yeah, it could be that. Steven, show us the demo.
Yeah, sure. Let me show you the demo. Okay. Let's see.
Steven's in our backyard too.
Yeah, up in Fort Lauderdale.
We like Florida tech founders. Any other Florida tech founders out there? Florida tech founders. If you listen, you got an idea. We want you to head over to 10xincubator.com, click submit your idea, and submit it. We are going to build an entire ecosystem here on this coast, and we love Florida tech founders. But we're partnering with one of the associations here, and they're going to support in bringing thousands and thousands of tech founders into 10x Incubator. So, Steven, you got a little bit of an edge being in Florida. So, and I could tell, I think you were in New York at one point, if I had to guess. Am I right with that statement?
Well, I was there 36 years ago.
Yes, I thought so. I thought so. I mean, I heard that in your voice. All right, you got the demo. If not, we could do a demo offline. For all of you watching, what are your thoughts on a platform that is this secure when it comes to e-signature? I mean, DocuSign, PandaDoc. I mean, these are big players. Doesn't mean there can't be another one, and it doesn't mean they wouldn't want to buy a platform like this, especially with the patent. Exactly right. Do you have it up? If not, we'll see it offline. Are you ready to show the demo?
That we could do that. They're curious. This is what? Is this Google?
We're on Zoom. But listen, go in the chat. Steve, we'll get in touch. I definitely want to do diligence. What are your thoughts, Eric?
I would want to do due diligence on it as well. But like I said, that's my main question is people are saying that it's good enough right now. You know, who are going to be the people who say, you know what, I really need that face. I really need that audio. Yeah. And I think there's people out there for that. We just would have to target them.
Yeah, Steven, great job, man. Congratulations. I mean, to go on a journey like you have, pretty much by yourself, starting, stopping, trying new dev, and not compromising quality. It's a testament to you as an entrepreneur. So we are a yes on this side to do some due diligence, but in the chat, they can influence us as well. So in the chat, let us know. Would you abandon DocuSign for a platform that's this secure, that has so many different layers of assurance with regards to who's signing? Steven, thank you so much. Appreciate you for coming.
Just really quick before I go.
Yeah, please, 30 seconds, go. 30 seconds, go for it.
Very, very quick. In regards to the concern of why would someone be interested, the bottom line is this. You're not fully aware of the fact of the amount of contracts that go south due to the fact that they do have a problem with it, but they can't.
Exactly.
They can't problem.
What is that?
And the last thing is, my brother owns a number of car dealerships. His best friend owns a whole bunch of Mercedes dealerships in New Jersey. Every car that flies all over the United States, he has to send an employee to sign the documentation. Ray Katina says to my brother, he goes, you know something? Your brother's software will change everything in the car industry. Everything in the car industry and the mortgage industry.
Listen, I'm a yes for Steven.
So
I'm a yes.
You should have said that from the beginning.
I'm a yes.
Also, I would, if you're still there, Steven, what is that number of contracts that are falling through? Just what is that number?
I don't have the specific number because it's a matter of finding it out. All I do know is I know two individuals that told me over the course of the last 3 years. One, it cost him $150,000.
All right, there's a market, Steven. We appreciate you, man. We have to go to our next entrepreneur. Thank you so much for being here this evening. Great job. We'll definitely be in touch to do some due diligence. In the chat, let us know. Are you ready to abandon DocuSign? I would abandon it. I mean, I'd abandon it.
You don't like it that much?
Listen, I want to see you sign things when I send you documents.
Yeah, well, and I definitely see the utility in that. Absolutely. I'm just saying, for the customer adoption side, DocuSign's $54 billion.
Listen, do you think people would judge the fact that I hold my pen like this when I sign things?
Yeah,
I heard a rumor. Eric told me that if I read the chat, it might hurt my feelings. People were commenting about my fingers being crooked, about the fact that I hold my pen like this. I've been actually a little subconscious this episode. I've been holding it correctly, and I'm writing very messy as a result. So if you don't like the way I write my hand, listen, you speak my love language, naysayers. Listen up. So we have an incredible company called Business Toolkit with an extraordinary entrepreneur. Gallant Dill is a young, successful entrepreneur that has just proven everyone in his life wrong. I mean, he was told he was going nowhere. He was a high school dropout, addicted to drugs, had his first child, I think, at 19 years old. Everybody's like, this is a derelict. He's going nowhere, until he went somewhere. And this entrepreneur is someone that is changing so many young people's lives by giving them an example to follow. Listen, take a look at Business Toolkit, and we'll be back with you shortly.
What if there was a simple business toolkit that got you paid by your clients, customers, and patients? What if you can set up your account in seconds and begin benefiting from all of the features in minutes? What if this entire platform is free? Business Toolkit is revolutionizing the way small businesses and sole proprietors are running their businesses by enabling you to manage your sales process from one platform from start to finish. Imagine canceling your expensive scheduling software, or discontinuing your clunky invoicing software, or eliminating your pricey task management software, and instead using one platform, your Business Toolkit, to drive your business forward. And don't forget, Business Toolkit is free. Sign up ASAP and begin saving money while you make way more money than ever before.
So what do you think? Can you imagine having a business technology like this that's free? Like, it
Yeah,
doesn't even
that's
make
the-
sense.
that's the crazy
When Yellin
part.
approached us and he goes, I want to create a platform for small business owners to use, and for internet marketers to use, and digital marketers to use, and network marketing professionals to use, but I want to make it free. I'm like, dude, what? Are you crazy? He goes, yeah, and I also want to give a ton of training to them to support them when it comes to building and scaling their business. I know this sounds too good to be true, but it's just true. And if you're a small business owner right now and you want to be able to send out invoices and get paid and have a really clean user interface to support you in your business, then you need to go check out businesstoolkit.com. This platform is off the charts. I'm so proud of Yellin and everything he's done in this world. He's an extraordinary co-founder. And let's see if we're going to get another co-founder right now. Who's up? We have Adriana. Is that correct? Adrian? Who's right, Eric or Jared?
Eric's right.
Come on, you got points against you. All right, you got 5 minutes. Please take it away.
All right, good morning. Thank you guys for having me. So I am Adrienne Lloyd. I've been a healthcare executive for a little over 20 years. And if you don't mind, I'll share my screen.
Please
just
do.
show a few things. Let me start. Okay, can you see?
Yep, you're good.
Okay.
Actually, no, we can't see your screen. There, we don't
Perfect.
see your screen right now.
Okay, awesome. So I've been a healthcare executive for a little over 20 years. Started at Mayo Clinic, spent the last 8 years at Duke, particularly running like ophthalmology practices, and then I've worked in a variety of other specialties. And the reason I'm here today is to really share with you what I have as a healthcare workload accountability system. And so really in healthcare today, I mean, there's never been a more urgent need to really have a system that managers can use to understand not only setting expectations for their team so that are clear, but then being able to monitor and measure what each staff member is doing so they can efficiently and effectively influence the performance and make sure that everybody's on the same page and aligned. In healthcare, there's a lot of financial challenges. Patients are having problems getting in. My proposal with the software is to actually start specifically in the ophthalmology space first. However, the technology is going to apply to anything. And what it is a time-based work unit system, and then allows you to look at performance across the team. And really in healthcare, we're having a lot of turnover. Turnover in some clinical roles is already up to like 20%. So it's really important that we make sure we're monitoring the staff, and particularly making sure that those high performers don't feel like they're doing more than their share of the work, and then they are the ones that most likely leave. So this system really helps, look at the workload and make sure that we're not losing those team members. It also can help you increase the productivity of staff because you're able to see where they are, have a conversation with them, see if they need more training, or just if something else is going on that you need to help them hopefully level up, or if they're not performing, perhaps have them level out. But this is really a tool that helps the management team do that. And ultimately, it allows the practice owners, the physicians, and the administrators to be able to increase capacity so they can help more patients. Ophthalmology specifically, it's a market where the patient demand is going to continues to outpace the availability of providers. And so it's important for markets that they're able to help patients as much as possible with a team that's working together and creating efficient flow. And so the system itself will quantify the work unit based on time. A lot of time in healthcare, we talk about the patient visits, or we talk about relative work RVUs that are tracked kind of downstream, but they don't often measure the actual time that it takes for the staff to do the work. And they definitely don't do it in a way that does it consistently. So kind of that daily basis that the managers can see how people were doing compared to each other. And so that's what this tool does. And it also allows the management team locally and then at the executive level to be able to project those future staffing needs, particularly if they've got multiple locations, see where they need to add staff, see how that might look, and what those areas are that they need more staff or need replacements. And it also just creates a clear expectation for staff of what they're expected to do kind of on a daily basis. And of course, with any number system, it's really not about specific numbers as much as it's about a pattern. But you can see here as an example of what we would create. So you'd be able as a manager to see my 3 technicians. I'd be able to see they're perhaps at multiple locations, and I'd be able to see how they were doing from a, essentially we call them points. So how many work units they were able to do. And as a manager, I would just notice that perhaps, on Fridays, of course, they're a little bit lower, tend to be a little lower on Fridays patient-wise, but this particular person, it would be something that would cause the managers to maybe ask a few more questions, figure out what happened, but ultimately try to detect a pattern. If they start to see over and over that someone's kind of under their peers, it really is about trying to balance that workload across the team.
You got 1 minute left. You're doing great. 1 minute left.
Oh, all right. And then this one's also doing it retrospectively for a month. So really just looking at those patterns of behavior again to manage up or out. And then also being able to look at the points by location so that, again, you can assess staffing needs or you can just see and dig into trends based on how the workflow is going. Another use that we'll be able to use the system for is to actually look at room utilization. We call them eye lanes in ophthalmology. They're very expensive in ophthalmology compared to other specialties. And so just monitoring and seeing where there's opportunity to increase volume will be important to really maximize that. Additionally, you can look at provider schedules, see where they might need more staff, or just see if there's an imbalance. And then also prospectively, the management team can look across multiple sites and see where they might need to shift staff based on workload, not just on patient units. And so that has really been helpful. And so our proposed
we can wrap it up. You did a great job. Awesome. Very, very nice presentation. So Eric, what are your thoughts, man?
So my first question is just what is the price point for the revenue model that we're going into?
Sure. The actual revenue model would be pricing around like $75, maybe $100 a month per staff member. So ultimately, people have about 6 staff. There's 20,000 physicians in ophthalmology. So if we were able to get 1% market share, then we think we'd be able to get a little over $1 million in recurring revenue, even just in the first year, and then be able to expand up from there.
So you're hitting a soft spot for me because I used to do a lot of advocacy for healthcare reform. And so anything that can go into a service provider and tell them, how effectively is your staff moving, try to, tailor the cost, and then you could even tell if you need to hire another employee or if you can move people around efficiently, correct?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
Yes.
I mean, anything to take care of the labor optimization within a service provider, I think is an incredibly valuable resource. Now, we're talking about a lot of tracking and a lot of optimization of labor. How does it track the person and where they're working? Is there something that they sign into and they say that they worked on a patient, or what is it?
We actually would get a download from the health system, the record, the electronic health record that the practices are using. And we don't need HIPAA information, but I would get a download so it will, when they log into that patient's chart, there's usually like a timestamp that tags them to the patient. So we'd be able to associate them that way. And I think anytime you don't have to have manual tracking, your data is just going to be so much stronger. So
now I could be wrong, but Epic is the largest EHR in America. How many other EHRs are there, and do you integrate into all of them?
Not yet. There's a lot of them. I mean, I would think there's more than 20. A lot of them are smaller. I actually am at a national meeting this week and spoke to a few of them, and they do have the ability to have like an API outbound interface, and then other ones have the ability just to export the Excel information or in some other format that we could upload. Worst case, we could always do data entry, but ideally we'd be able to either do a direct interface or the practice themselves could do an upload.
Yeah, absolutely. And so now you said you wanted to target ophthalmologists, correct? When you
Correct.
started. So why choose that service provider?
One of the reasons is that I worked there for the last 8 years, so I really understand it. I've got a lot of connections. Already have quite a few user groups that might be interested in being beta, so we can test it and get feedback. But I also know with ophthalmology, I was in GI, radiology, some of those procedural specialties, the staff are doing more, I want to say more of the work than the providers, but their time with the patient is longer. And so really being able to look at that time based on those appointment types so that you can actually see like a new patient's going to take much longer than a return or post-op. But ultimately that work value is going to translate across, it really could be all specialties. I just think that market for ophthalmology, the technician market's also just really tight, of course, right now too. So
what are these offices doing now that this platform doesn't exist yet? Like what is it, just inefficient, or like what other tools are they using?
A lot of inefficiency. And I speak nationally. I've talked about this system for many years. I'll have people that'll come back year after year and they're like, we've tried this, we're doing it on paper. And that was actually how I started using it, was printing out the appointment sheet, having the staff initial it, and then doing like a tally. And so ultimately they're either doing it on paper or trying to do it with Excel.
Wow.
And they just lose steam. They've got a lot of things going on and it's just hard to keep the momentum.
Listen, industry technology, I love it, right?
Yeah,
and you love anything to do with healthcare as well. So what are your thoughts on proceeding with due diligence? In the chat, let us know, please. What are your thoughts on this idea? Should we move forward in the due diligence process? Eric, what do you think?
I think we should definitely move forward.
Oh yeah, I'm a hell's yes. I'm told you did such an excellent job presenting tonight. I'm so impressed. The slide deck, I know you had more to share, but it was just concise, organized, stated the problem very clearly. You got a lot in 5 minutes. It may not feel like you did because you're like, oh wait, there's my go-to-market. But you got a lot in 5 minutes. For those that are watching, this is such a great example of how to present your idea, where you can get a ton of information in, leave us in a state of a curiosity where we actually are like yearning for more. Like the kind of questions Eric was asking was things that I'm sure that would be in your deck, but you did a wonderful job. We're a yes to move forward. But in the chat, influence us one way or the other. Do you see value in this platform? Should we be solving this inefficiency? I'm a yes. Big E over here is a yes as well. So one of the things that we often hear, especially now that we've gone live with the tank every day. Monday through Friday, we do this, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for 60 minutes. We have 4 entrepreneurs that show up and they give it all. They give all they got. They share their big ideas. They share their needs. They share their hopes. And I was thinking about this on one of our previous episodes. I'm like, we're in a position right now just to make someone's dream become real. Like 5 minutes to share their big idea, 5 minutes. And we're going to say yes or no, and the audience is going to say yes or no as well. And let's say we say yes. Let's say everyone says yes. That means that idea is not going to the graveyard. It means that idea is going to become a company that we can build, scale, and sell. And so many people ask us, how else can I get involved? I don't have an idea yet. I'm sure at some point I will, but I want to support. I want to be involved in building, scaling, and selling 10,000 tech companies in 10 years. So one of the ways, if you are an accredited investor, is to become part of 10X Tech Angels. This is our angel investor network. And you have the ability to join. As long as you're accredited, you can see all of the companies that we have co-founded in 10X Incubator, and then you can make your investment decisions. Take a look at this commercial right now.
What if you knew about Instagram or Slack or Clubhouse when the company was raising a friends and family round at $10,000 per person? What if you were able to see all the tech companies that Grant Cardone and Jared Yellin have co-founded in one place and invest in any that excite you? What if you were able to expand your portfolio into early stage tech companies with extraordinary founders and teams? 10X Tech Angels is the most unique investment club that you will ever find, because not only will you see some of the most innovative tech companies at the lowest valuations ever, but you will also be educated on how to pick tech winners, meet other members of our community, and experience the excitement associated with taking an early idea to exit. Become one of the founding members of 10X Tech Angels for an exclusive offer with some extraordinary bonuses. To learn more, visit 10xtechangels.com.
So Eric, you talk to investors all the time, right? You're talking to people that are on the fence to join the network, they've joined it, and what kind of feedback are you hearing from investors once they have a chance to see just the vast nature of our portfolio?
Well, and so that's the main thing that they're excited about, is the deal flow. A lot of the investors who are coming to us, they are in either groups already or they've joined premium clubs, and they cannot believe the amount of deal flow that we've been able to create. But it's because we work harder at it than anybody else, right? We do the tank. We have clubhouse rooms. We have people who are scouting out on our idea squad, bringing ideas. The infrastructure that we've built around a deal flow pipeline is truly immense. And then that allows us to pick and choose the ideas that we really want to do. And then when they make it into the angel investment network, there's such a diversity of founders, ideas, industries, the business models, and it just there's something for everyone there, and that's what they really enjoy, like what you said, the vastness.
Yeah, our co-founder and chief investment officer for 10x Tech Angels, the gentleman named Dr. Ben Lerner. And Dr. Ben Lerner is an angel investor. He invests in tons of different opportunities. And one of the things that he told me is he's joined 2 different groups that are similar to 10x Tech Angels. One of them showed 1 deal last year, and the other showed 4. The whole year. Like the whole year, we're showing deals like that, I don't know, weekly, sometimes daily. Like this is what's so unique about 10x Tech Angels is the fact that you can pick and choose the things that excite you most, and there's just a vast array of opportunities. I mean, whenever someone wants to start investing in tech, the most difficult thing to find are deals. It's hard. Maybe you'll come across one a year, if not every few years, and to me, that's risky, right? To just put money into just one tech deal. Like what I've encouraged people to do for years is to start investing in early stage tech and just diversifying. If you have $100,000 to invest, spread it out over 10 different companies, and there's 4 things to look for when you're investing as an angel. One of them is, would you use the product? So if you would use the product, it's a lot cooler to own the product. The second thing is, do you like the founder? This is one of the coolest parts of investing in early stage tech, is you really get to know the people. When you invest in the stock market, you don't really know the founders, right? You get to know these people, like you're going on the journey with them. The third is, do you like the business model? In the tech industry, there's all different types of business models. There are tech companies that will never generate cash flow, and they're just going to focus on getting users and data, platforms like Clubhouse and Instagram, but eventually they have big exits. And then there's other platforms that have subscription models built in, where people are paying for it on a month-by-month basis. So as an early stage tech investor, figure out what's most comfortable for you. And the fourth is, do you want to go on the journey? Do you stand for the moonshot? Do you stand for what this company is going to cause in the world? And if those areas are validated, then that company might be a good investment opportunity for you. Once again, 10xtechangels.com. It's only for accredited investors, but if you are accredited and you want to write this story with us, we would love to have you in this community. All right, another entrepreneur coming to the tank. Be kind. Look at me. Be kind, baby.
I'm like the nicest person
Be
here.
kind. Listen, we got Talia here. Talia in the house. Talia. Where are you calling in from? And if he's mean, don't worry, I got it. I'll take care of him, Talia, okay? Let's go, Talia. Where are you calling in from?
Hi, I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, but
Awesome.
right now I'm currently traveling in London, so I'm calling from the UK.
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
Nice. Well, welcome. We're excited to have you. You got 5 minutes. Share your big tech idea. Thank you so much for being here.
Excellent. So let me try and share my screen, but maybe having some difficulties doing that. But I can walk you guys through what I'm working on.
Go for it.
It's been in the works since 2017. It's called Hertek Park. Essentially, what it is a tech park created by women, for women, that focuses on the United Nations SDGs. It's a physical and online district designed by women to assist women entrepreneurs and founders to succeed in business know-how, developing tech startups, sustainable living, and circular economy best practices, all while adhering to all 17 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. The idea, it came up in reflection to the problem that women are facing right now. Currently, a study came out in 2020 stating that 97% of global venture capital funding went to teams with male founders in 2020, and 2.3% of global venture capital funding went to teams with women founders, women-only founders in 2020. So with women receiving 2.3%, it's kind of a huge deal. Now, there are more male founders in the US, entrepreneurs. It's about 60-40, 60%. 2.3% of global VC funding going towards women.
Oh, your audio.
It's a start.
Your audio, Talia, your audio went out? Try to speak again.
Oh, sorry.
You're good now.
Yeah,
Are you guys
it
able to hear me now?
You're good
Wait,
now.
actually, could you
sorry
share that
about that.
stat again for everybody live? I don't think a lot of people know that stat. I read that about a month ago. Just could you say that stat about
Okay.
the disparity again?
Yeah,
Just for
Absolutely.
emphasis.
So, yeah, right now, approximately 2.3%. Oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. 2.3% of global venture capital funding went to teams with women-only founders,
Crazy.
which is a huge issue. I have about 97% going to teams with male founders.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy.
So
I just wanted to reemphasize that for everybody who's watching this right now.
Oh.
Are you done,
I hope you
are you
guys
done with
can
your
see me.
presentation?
Yeah, so that is a number that I think has to change. A lot of people are saying it has to change.
Yep. So let's jump into.
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
No, let's jump.
So what is your solution? So what is Hertek Park? Let's give us the details. What is this?
Great
platform
question. So, let me get to that. Yeah. So the solution is a Hertek Park. Essentially, we have two phases that we want to roll out. The first phase being online, creating a community of women entrepreneurs that are able to go through an accelerator and help them with their business know-how and kind of to accelerate their ideas. So the first phase is online, where we partner with, let's say, a top accelerator to pilot out a women's only accelerator. And then the second phase is a real estate project, a multi-use real estate project, which we're calling Hertek Park, which is essentially a place for women to go and educate themselves, innovate, work with one another, with co-working spaces and commercial offices to sustainably live. So eco apartments being available, as well with a circular economy living aspect to it. So moving things around circularly so that we can reinvest in the women's projects and as well in the tech park itself, as well to enjoy. I think women especially, and everyone, deserves to enjoy their relaxed time and their downtime in the best way possible. So we wanted to put everything in a park that you would need to create, start, fund a tech project, as well as the community and network around you to help it to succeed.
Awesome. We stand for that immensely. So questions, where are you at in the process? You said it's since 2017. What elements of this are built right now and operating?
Yes. That's a great question. So I know a lot of people say, get it right to market. We spent the last 5 years researching, building together advisors, getting social proof. So we spoke to about 220 entrepreneurs, different people in venture capitalism, banking and finance, sustainability, involved with the United Nations and different aspects to sustainable development goals and blockchain. And the consensus is we're working on something that could potentially be large. However, we're still in an ideation phase, so we still need to go through, incorporate, create an MVP, and do a lot of research that went into this project thus far.
Got it. And has this been your sole focus over those 5 years? Or if not, are you also a female tech founder? So give me a little of your background.
Great question. Great question. So my background, I'm a former pro athlete. I went to Penn State University, played professionally in Brazil, and then I was working in production for a bit as a producer and director for television and sports, and then did a bit of traveling over to Israel, to Germany, to a few different countries, and came up with this idea and have spent the last 5 years working on it. I would say 95% of my time, just about. I did take a break in between to help my mother with her company, which she's doing great with. It's in healthcare and staffing. So that was the first time that I've kind of joined a project as a founder, and that's been doing great. Unfortunately, during a pandemic, healthcare is really important. But this is my baby. It's the first project that I will be kicking off, with my own idea and things of that nature.
Good for you. So question, so we stand for what you stand for, just so you know. Like, we want more female tech founders. We want more capital going to those female tech founders. I don't know what the exact percentage is.
Oh, our founder ratio is crushing 2%.
Oh, yeah. It could be like 50-50.
Wow.
Yeah. So we stand for immensely. So with all due respect, why is it taking you so long to get started, though? Because 5 years is a long time. We have this philosophy, which is 1 week is 1 year at 10x Incubator. So 5 years is like 5,000 years. So like why is it taking you so long to get started?
Yeah. Great question. So it is not from not being invited to accelerators, not being invited to incubators. It's been in developing the idea. So we wanted to get it right, for which we have a lot of information and decks around that. But it was in creating this idea, creating this community, and figuring out how to move that needle from 2.3% to 10% to 20, 50%. So a lot of the time has gone into research and development there. And now it's kind of time that we have it together. We have our advisors prepared to drive it forward. So that it's been research. It kind of wasn't Like, oh, we're hitting some.
So where will you be one
putting the
year from
idea
now?
together.
What changes in the next year for you?
Great question. A lot can change in the next year. For us, it's networking and getting additional advisors on our team. We've been told, I mean, money.
Here's what's going to change for you.
but
Here's what's going
that
to change
wasn't
for
the most
you.
important
You need to partner with 10x Incubator, and that's what's going to change for you, because we have the infrastructure to actually do what you want, and
God bless.
not just to create a community, like to have female founders come through Tanya, and with an tech idea, have them see what we do from an infrastructure perspective. Let us see what they want to do. And then we're all going to co-found companies together. We need to get you into like actualizing this. There's a lot of females that are trying to solve this problem by researching their way into the problem versus executing their way out of the problem. Like 5 years of research, with all due respect, you're a professional athlete. Like you didn't like practice for 5 years to then go and get on the court. Like you just got on the court and you played, and whatever sport you played. We got to get you into execution mode. Like I know that you're the right person to do it. I can feel your heart. We need to figure out a way to get you out of your heart, out of your gut, out of your head, out of your heart, into your gut. Like we need to get you moving. Do you agree with me, Eric? Like 5 years is a long time.
I absolutely agree. Yeah, that it's all about execution, right? Gathering all that information is great, but let's start rolling. You know, there's nothing stopping you. You've identified the problem. I love that you're tying in the United Nations Global Development Goals as well, because then that you're going after problems that have been clearly identified by a large group of people as well. And then so you've clearly identified the problems, you've clearly identified your own problem, and now we're going to be helping people build the infrastructure to solve those problems.
Yeah, so listen, thank you. I want to personally speak with you and partner with you, but I want to get you into freaking action, Tanya. It's time. Let's go. Because I can tell you this, what's not going to solve this inequality is more research. That's not what's going to solve it. What's going to solve it is getting into execution and giving female tech founders a chance to build, scale, and sell their tech companies. And that's what we do. We build, scale, and sell tech companies. Thank you so much for being here. We deeply appreciate you. So Eric, execution is everything, right? Everything. We talk about this all the time with our founders. Execution is everything. So many people will spend years thinking about what they want to do, researching what they want to do. We don't do any of that. Like we don't do, one of our core rules here is never second guess yourself, which means just go and try things. Just test it. Just test it. If it doesn't work, then just test something else. Well, the reason why we have such a sustainable competitive advantage against the world is that the world takes 19 times to make one decision, and in those 19 times, we've made 19 decisions. Like, I don't research anything, ever. Like, I feel it. I'm like, all right, I feel it, let's test it. The greatest research is you getting a yes or a no. It's the greatest research. The greatest research is, can you get somebody to take their credit card out of their pocket? It's the greatest research. We don't need the data to see if someone's going to put their credit card down on a table to purchase the thing that you believe is of value. We need to get you into action. And right now, there's a chance that you're watching this. You're watching this, and you're doing what Tanya did. And Tanya's awesome. We're going to partner with Tanya. We're going to support her in helping more women get into tech. But there's a chance you're doing what Tanya did and thinking about your idea for 5 years. Thinking about doing research, like getting advisors. These are all things that are important, but nothing is more important than bringing that idea to the world and executing on it. Nothing is more important than that. Realize I was walking on the beach in Westport, Connecticut in April of 2020, and I felt this calling. And the calling was build, scale, sell 10,000 tech companies in 10 years. And immediately went into motion. Company launched the next day, started telling the world, and we started onboarding companies. And in 1 year, we've had 10,000 people like Tanya and like every other, Steven and everybody else that shared with us tonight, share their ideas with us. 10,000 people applied to work with us. And of those 10,000, about 500 of them made it through the first round where they had a chance to pitch us. And of those 500, we said yes to 107 companies in our first full year of operating as a tech incubator. That's how you move the needle. It's through execution. And right now, I know there's someone that has an idea. I think it's you. I think it's you right there. I think it's you. You have an idea. Head over right now, 10xincubator.com. Hit submit your idea, submit it, fill out the written application, it takes about 20 minutes. Our team will review it, and I hope that we say yes to getting you in the tank so that your idea has the potential to become a reality. We appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. We go live every Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for 1 hour with 4 changemaker entrepreneurs. And our goal and our mission is to build, scale, and sell 10,000 tech companies in 10 years by taking napkins and turning them into exits. We'll see you. Bye for now.
Which napkin will become the next exit? Which MVP will evolve into a unicorn? Which cash-flowing tech company will reach the next level? Our hope and desire is that it's yours. Your idea, your MVP, your cash-flowing tech company. Now is your time. Head over to 10xincubator.com and submit your idea so that you get on the tank and give us the chance to transform your napkin into an exit. That's 10xincubator.com. That's 10xincubator.com. Let's go.